Hello and welcome to Magical Monday Live. I am Ivy, your hostess, and today we are going to talk about finding your purpose. Now, I'd like to kind of start out by kind of defining purpose. So, whether you are here live with me or if you are catching the replay, that's amazing. If you are on the replay, please just go ahead and comment replay or catching the replay so that I know that you're actually watching. So, what is purpose? Purpose is one of those words that has such so many different definitions, and everybody kind of sees that differently. So what I would ask of you is to think to yourself, what defines purpose to you? Now, for most people, it's something that shapes their goals. It's something that guides their life. It's something that kind of makes you fulfilled. It's like why you are here. And some people like to say, like, what is my one singular purpose for being here on this earth today, on this earth for my life? Why am I really here? So I really want to just kind of share that I don't really believe. Hi, Katie. Happy Monday to you too. I'm glad my work day's over. Like so much. I can't tell you. I'm happy to be here. So when we talk about purpose, let's talk about like one purpose versus multiple purposes. Like your purpose, your like life's purpose today might not be the same as what your life's purpose might be 20 years from now. So when we talk about finding your purpose, and I talk about like, I'm going to talk about a couple ways to like find your purpose, but I'm not talking about like this is your purpose for the rest of your life, so you better just be invested in this. Hi Dawn. Hi Kelly. Yay! Look at all these people. I'm so excited. Okay, so so what I'm saying right now is basically like your purpose today is not gonna always. It doesn't have to be like your purpose. You don't have to be like super choosy. Like this has to be my purpose, like forever. Because your life is going to change, your expectations are going to change, your like what makes you feel fulfilled might change. So there are lots of things like you yourself can change. I know for a fact I am not the a-hole I was like 20 years ago, right? So sorry, I just snorted. So like 20 years ago, Ivy is not the same as sitting right here in this chair, Ivy, at all. So if you would have asked me what my purpose was like 20 years ago, it probably would be, I don't even know, drinking a lot of tequila, making out with boys. I don't know. I don't even think I would have cared 20 years ago. But now it's important to me, and I know it's important to a lot of you, otherwise you would not be here watching this video. So why do we even bother finding our purpose? Well, most people feel the pull to find your purpose because you want to feel more fulfilled. You might want to kind of explore your dreams in a different way. Like we always talk about like our dreams and what we want to do in our lives and all of that. But like knowing what your purpose is kind of helps guide you on that way. Some people might be starting a business. I know a lot of people in like the spiritual space, especially who want to start a business, say, I know I have a lot to offer. I just don't know where to start. I don't know what I should do. Or I want to be a coach, or I want to be a teacher, or, you know, I want to be virtual assistant or a consultant. But I want to make sure what I'm doing is meaningful and it is helping people, or what, you know, XYZ. Some people feel as though it's important to kind of align their purpose with their career path or their job. And some people just want to find their purpose to feel more aligned in their day-to-day life and to make decisions and to help kind of guide them on their life path. So what I want you to do, you don't have to do this right now, but I'm going to illustrate this, is I want you to take just a piece of paper, just like this, regular letter piece of paper, and I want you to fold it in half this way and in half this way. So you are going to have your 4 quarters. Okay, there's 4 quarters. And this is kind of like a little bit of a journaling exercise. It's just kind of an exercise to kind of help get you aligned. And you're going to answer 4 questions. Let me find a pen that's better. Okay. So the first question that you want to ask yourself is, what lights you up? Okay. What lights you up? What makes you super excited? Like what causes you to feel joy? What is that thing that when you're talking about it, you can't stop talking about it because you're so excited? Like what lights you up? What makes you feel passionate? Okay. The second question is, what are you good at? What do you excel at? We all have things that we are good at. And sometimes it might seem like they're pretty mundane. So I've got my question 1, what lights you up? Number 2, what are you good at? I am very grateful for my camera. That actually does not make this backward. So what lights you up and what are you good at? Are you great at being organized? Are you great at, are you great at organizing? Are you great at counseling people? Do you give amazing advice? Are you able to, are you an intuitive? Are you able to channel messages? Or like even things like, are you able to connect with people well? Are you a good writer? Like are you a good cook or a chef, or are you amazing at cleaning? Like there are tons of things that you are good at, I'm sure. And they don't have to be like these like ethereal, like spiritual things. Like I am good at like connecting with spirit. Like it doesn't have to be like that, right? It can be practical, or it could be kind of like ethereal. Just what are you good at? Number 3 is, what have you experienced? What experiences have you gone through? Okay. Number 3, what have you experienced? You can see I'm very techie with my piece of paper that I'm holding up. Okay, so like what have you experienced, especially like difficult or unique experiences? Have you come out of an abusive situation? Are you a survivor of some sort? Are you have you traveled the world? Have you, are you a parent with, have you like come through postpartum? Have you, especially if you're a parent, you've experienced a ton of crap, right? So are you you have a couple of kids? Do you, were you an amazing soccer player? Like whatever that is, like what are the experiences that you've had in your life, especially those experiences that really have made a huge impact on you? Like, I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, I worked at a cable company. Like that, that's might not be part of my purpose, but I have been in the craft for over 20 years. So that is an experience that I've had. I have been in an abusive relationship before. I have, we have all of these experiences. So think about what experiences, especially unique or cool experiences, or experiences where maybe people are having some challenges that you might be able to help them with. And this like quarter of your page right here, especially if you are thinking about starting a business, starting a side hustle, if you are in the market for a new job and you kind of want it to align with your values, and maybe like some of your experiences, as a person where you are in your life might help that job. So this is one that I don't normally see this. And when people are like in, things where people talk about finding your purpose, but I think it's important because I think it really can help you manifest your purpose in your life. And the last one is, what do people / the world need? What do people need? And this could be like, if you have a feeling like your purpose on this life is to be a mom, like I know a lot of people feel that way. A lot of moms feel that way. I've heard that from a lot of moms. Like that's totally fine. Obviously, right now that could be your purpose. Like, what do your little people need? You know, that is totally fine and totally valid. If you are expanding your purpose to kind of reach out of that like sphere, then you might want to kind of just expand the thought of what other people, outside of your family might need. Okay. So once you have these all written down, and I don't expect that you're probably doing it right now, because this really is kind of like a journaling activity. I mean, obviously you don't have to write like full sentences. And when you actually do this activity, I really suggest that you use markers. I know every time I talk about journaling or mind mapping or anything that has to do with writing things down, I'm always like pushing the markers on everybody. But I really feel like it helps you access your creativity and it makes it more fun. So keep that in mind. Markers for life. And I'm not just saying that because I am a marker hoarder or a stationery hoarder, which I am, but also like it really does help. I even use them at work. So you've got your 4 quarters happening right now. Okay. You've got your, what lights you up? What are you good at? What have you experienced? And what do people / the world need? So once you do have all of these filled in, once you have all of these, and obviously you don't have to write as big as me. I just wanted you to be able to see my silly paper right here. I know this. So when you have all of this written down, then I want you to take some time and really think about it and try to find where these really interconnect. So you might find that you are really, you might find that you're just like really excited about talking about cheese making. Okay, this is random. Like this is just something I'm coming up with my mind right now. So if it sounds crazy, that's why. Maybe you're like, I love making cheese. I'm so excited about it. Maybe it's vegan cheese. Maybe I'm super excited about vegan cheese. I'm going to change it to that because that's more fun. I love talking about vegan cheese. What am I good at? I am really good at cooking vegan dishes, in addition to all of these other things that I'm good at. Maybe I just really find it easy to make that transition from a carnivore, omnivore world into vegan cooking. What have you experienced? I've experienced, and you can see obviously where I'm going with like my vegan thing. And I'm actually not vegan, just, as a FYI, but what have you experienced? Like I went to some farms and they really bothered me. I really enjoy being around these vegan people, and like, what do the people need? Maybe they need less, more vegan options in their world. So when you that's not the only thing that I'd be writing on my list, but that's like a kind of like a reoccurring theme. Like, let's say like veganism is my reoccurring theme on my piece of paper. So then I can think about what that actually means. Now, I'm not going to say if you have 4 things that match, that is your purpose, but it is a good place to start because only you can really define your purpose. And that's going to take some contemplation time. And what I mean by contemplation time, if you haven't like heard my spiel about the 4 foundation skills of a spiritual practice and all of that, contemplation is really important. It's the time that you take to just sit and think about things, because in this world of we have all of these screens, we are always scrolling through Facebook or through whatever. Like we don't really allow ourselves to just have that quiet downtime. We're always distracting ourselves with something else, oh, I have to do this, or I have to clean the bathroom, or I have to take care of the dog, or after my kids, or whatever. Like, take a deep breath and take some time to just sit and think about this. And, I know it's hard sometimes to find the time to do such a thing. However, if maybe it's while you're taking a shower. I mean, obviously, if you have your paper in the shower, it's probably going to end up a mess. But, you kind of have an idea after you do this exercise. Just take some time to really think about, like, how do those intersect to you? And then when you, like, come up, like, think about, like, a couple things maybe that intersect and kind of deepen into it a little bit. Think about it. Ask yourself, is this my purpose? Because the only person who can tell you what your purpose is on this earth right now is going to be you. So even if you have something that falls into all 4 of these categories and you're like, okay, this sounds like it should be my purpose. Maybe it's my purpose. If you don't feel that pull, if you don't feel like that resonance with it, then it's not your purpose. Maybe there's something on this that is only in one of these quadrants, and you feel, and it can kind of like extrapolate like what your purpose is from that one thing. It doesn't have to be something that interacts with all of these 4 quadrants. That's just a starting place. So just take some time, take some deep breaths. You know, you don't have to set aside like 3 hours to do this. You know, even if you just have 5 or 10 minutes, look through your list, you know, and from beginning to end, like this whole writing all the things down, taking a look, contemplating it, that's probably half an hour. I would say that's probably about half an hour out of your life for this whole exercise, from folding up your paper to thinking about what you've written and kind of coming up with an idea. Now, that doesn't mean after a half hour you'll be like, this is my purpose. Yay. You might, but you might not. You might need to return to it. You might need to try again the next day. You might have a little bit of writer's block. You know, you might feel a little bit blocked. Sometimes with, you know, if you kind of know about like alignment with the moon cycles or alignment with your menstrual cycle, sometimes we can feel blocked. Sometimes we are not having that creative flow. We're not able, it's more difficult, I would say, to kind of like connect with your inner self and to connect with what's going on, especially if you've got a lot going on in your life, if you've got a lot of stress going on. It's nice for me to say, hey, just take half an hour out of your day. But if you have like really crazy things happening in your life, I understand that that is very difficult. So be kind to yourself and take care of this when you can. If you can only fill out 1 quadrant of this exercise per day, because it's all the time that you have, and when I say time, I don't just mean time, like, oh, I only have 5 minutes, but I'm also talking about energy, physical energy, because sometimes we have days that drain us, and sometimes we have days where we feel super energetic. So I would suggest trying to do this on a day where you feel more creative, you feel more in flow, you feel more energized. Not on a day like today. I came home, I was so exhausted. I had to go lay down for like 15 minutes before I could even, like, I literally like face planted on my bed after work for 15 minutes because I just was so exhausted. So be kind to yourself. Don't make yourself do this. Like if you start to do this and you feel a little bit of resistance, and that resistance isn't like, oh, I don't really want to, there's really kind of 2 kinds of resistance when it comes to an exercise like this, which is an inner exercise where you are really exploring yourself. There is one sort of resistance, which is like the fear resistance, like, oh, this is hard. You know, it's kind of scary to kind of look inside yourself. And that kind of resistance is a good resistance to push against. It's a good resistance to work through. And then there's a resistance where I'm just really tired. I got too much going on. I really can't do this. And that's okay. It's okay to set this aside. Excuse me. It's okay to set this aside and try again later. So just be kind to yourself. All right. So once you kind of have an idea of what your purpose is, and I suggest that after you do this whole thing that you try to put that in a sentence. A lot of times we're able to kind of mentally understand things, like things will click for us. But when we try to like verbalize it, or when we try to write it down, when we try to make sense of it in a way that we can put it down on paper, like in our heads, it's a knowing, right? But when we try to put it down, when we try to communicate it, it's really difficult. So my suggestion is, once you do feel like you found your purpose, or you are playing with a couple ideas that you feel like might be your purpose, write them down, try to verbalize them. And see, again, you can walk away from it and come back, you know, in a day or 2 and see how that resonates with you. Okay. All right. So once you do kind of feel like what your purpose is. So for me, my purpose is to help others deepen into the world of witchcraft. Like that encompasses what I'm doing with my coven. That encompasses how kind of I am open about being a witch. Like whenever anybody, what are you doing this weekend? Oh, I have a holiday with my coven. What are you doing? Like I try to kind of like normalize it, which is super fun and sometimes scary. You know, that's what I'm trying to do here. That's what I do in my coaching. That's what I do with my mentoring program. You know, we've got, you know, that's my purpose. So once you do find kind of your purpose, I mean, that's the best way I can kind of verbalize it right now. When you do kind of find your purpose, you can start acting in alignment with your purpose. Now, that's thinking about like what dreams are in alignment with your purpose. You know, we all kind of have, most of us kind of have that like, someday I want to do this, or someday I want to do that. What dreams do you have that actually align with your purpose? Could your purpose have an impact on your job? Could it have an impact on your career path? Now, that doesn't mean like, of course, like obviously I have a business where I am like, you know, coaching and mentoring people, and that's part of my purpose. So if you want to start a business, this is the really, really great place to start, because you'll find if you are starting a business, if you are an entrepreneur, you want to come back to your why. Like, why are you doing this? And the easiest way to come back to that why is to remember what your purpose was. Remember why you were doing what you're doing. Now, in that, like, again, if you are not starting a business, your own self, is there any part of your purpose that can apply to your job or apply to your career path? So for example, like I just said, my purpose is to, I don't remember what I said, but something like to help women connect with their witchery, like to bring witchcraft and help people kind of integrate that into their lives. So maybe it would be good for me to think about getting a job at an interfaith nonprofit, doing something for an interfaith nonprofit. So your purpose can align with, you know, your career. Now, does it always have to be? No, but now you know what lights you up. You know what you're good at. You know what you've experienced, and you have asked yourself, what does the world need? Now, with those things that you've thought about, you know, it doesn't have to be aligned with completely your purpose, but you know now what lights you up. So you can take that next step on your career path. You know what you're good at. So maybe that might help you guide you on your career path. So maybe it's not your whole purpose, but this activity itself can kind of help align you in ways that can help enrich your life. And then sometimes when you are making large decisions, you can ask yourself, like, does this align with my purpose? So does it align with my purpose? So let's say I have to make a decision about where I'm going to live. Okay. Like, let's say I have to move. I hope that never happens. I like California, but I have to decide, like, where am I going to move? What will help me? What will align with my purpose? Now, if I have a choice between, living in a place that has a high witchy community, but like it's kind of in the Bible Belt, but there's a lot of witches there. Or I can go live in a commune in San Francisco and Berkeley with all these other witches. Which would align more with my purpose? Aligning with my purpose, if my purpose is to help witches connect and help bring witches, like witchery, out into and make it kind of mainstream, let's just say, I know I twisted it a little bit, but let's say that's what it is, then the choice that would align with my purpose is moving to a place that has a lot of witches, but also a lot of prejudice, because that's the place I could do some good in. Would it be easier for me to move to Berkeley and live in a commune? Yes. Would that be enjoyable? Heck yes. Would I still get to live in California? Yes. But if I'm really going to try to align with my purpose and what I want to do in my life, then moving to that other community where I can really help people and kind of make an actual difference might be a better choice for me. Does that make sense? Okay. So, and also, like I said at the very beginning, your purpose today might not be your purpose in 20 years. So keep that in mind. Keep in mind that your purpose does change. Keep in mind that once you don't have to like stick with your purpose forever. This is just something that is important to you, that is your purpose right now as you're watching this. So again, just for those who might have joined, the replay will be on my YouTube channel. but I suggested you fold a piece of paper into 4 squares. This is like my main activity that I'm kind of pushing for this on this YouTube video. We've got 4 questions. What lights you up? What are you good at? What have you experienced? And what do people in the world need? And using those intersections or the things that can really, really supremely resonate with you, that can help you find your purpose. So that is it for today's live stream. I kept it under 30 minutes, so I feel pretty good about that. Of course, always, if you have any questions, if you need anything, you know, you can reach out to me. You can tag me on Facebook, message me, etc. Leave me a comment. I will get back to you. And that's pretty much it. So I hope that this helps you kind of focus and find your purpose. I hope that activity kind of helps you, or at least gives you a place to start. And again, if you have any questions, you know where to find me. All right, I will talk to you soon. Bye.